Hey there, friends! I am super excited about our project today. We are going to be making a gift that's totally DIY, and it could be used for all kinds of occasions. Mother's Day, you could tweak it for Father's Day, you could do it for a gift, for a grandparents' day, for Christmas, birthdays, whatever, okay? Or just because people like getting things just because, right? Okay, so here's some of the things that you are going to need. I have a jar, and this is one that we just finished up using. We made some homemade pizza and put artichoke hearts on it. So, I love it. I know that might sound gross to some of you guys. I have tissue paper. Now this is optional, not necessary. Some curling ribbon, also optional and not necessary. You could use a twist tie or a rubber band, string yarn. It's going to be something to fasten the center of our tissue paper flower we're going to make. I have some tape, I have some glue sticks, I have scissors, I have copy paper, construction paper. Now, all of this can probably be tweaked with things that you have around your house. And then of course you'll need some markers, pencils, color pencils, crayons, something to write with, okay? All right, let's get started. So we have our jar, and the very first thing we want to do with our jar is we want to decorate it. Now, my thought for the inside of the jar, well, really, you could put all kinds of things inside here. You could fill it up with kisses, right? Hershey kisses. You could put some small things in here that the person you're giving it to might like. You could put body scrub in here or bath salts in there. This could be filled with endless amounts of things, right? So the inside is really up to you, although I do have an idea for that. So we will get to that. So don't shut me off yet, okay? Watch the video to the end. But we've got to decorate the jar. So I had some thoughts. Number one, I don't really like to try to scrape labels off. They're really hard to get off. Of course, if you put it in some really steamy, hot, soapy water, it will loosen the label, and usually you can kind of peel or scrape it off if you want to. I think getting labels off of jars is kind of a pain, so I'm just going to cover mine up. And then the top label is usually even harder to get off. Sometimes it's printed right on the lid, right? So sometimes you can't get it off. Two choices. You could cut a circle the size of your lid, decorate it, okay? So cut it out on a piece of paper, decorate it, glue it on, problem solved. And that might be a good option if you're doing this for a man, right? Like for Father's Day or a birthday. So you could cover the top, be done with it, okay? But I want to make a tissue paper flower, and I did do a previous video for how to make tissue paper flowers, but I want to show you how to make one again anyway. Now, the tissue paper that I have cut from my previous video is a perfect square, but it is way too big. This would be way too big, okay? So I'm going to base my jar off of about the size that I would want. So I'm going to kind of gauge, about how big I want this to be. I am going to fold my corner over, and the reason I am doing that, and I'm trying to make this straight, like a right angle, right? So the reason I am doing that is because I need to make a smaller square. It really needs to be a square, okay, for this project to work. So now I have a much smaller one. That should be about right. Hopefully it's not too small. And I have a lot of sheets here. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that will probably be too many. I'm going to take one out. And have 8, and that might even be too many, but we'll see, okay? Now, I am going to fan fold So fold forward, fold backwards, fold forward, fold backwards. So we get a nice little fan fold is what I call it, or it kind of looks like an accordion, whatever you want to call it. We're going to fold this little guy in half so we know where the middle is. Now I'm going to use some curling ribbon. You could use yarn, you could use string, you could use a pipe cleaner, you can use twist tie from like a bread bag, whatever you have, okay? Here we go. I'm going to cut it probably longer than what I need, just makes it easier to cut, or to tie, excuse me. I'm going to sneak that in between the two layers, right there. There we go. Okay, tuck that through the hole. If you have somebody to hold it for you, great. If not, then use what you have. I know we're not really supposed to put stuff in our mouth, but it's clean. It's germ-free. It's been in my home. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this knot to the edge, just like that. Now on the ends, you have choices. You could do a triangle cut. So snip, whoa. Snip, or you could do a curve. So I'm going to cut a curve line just like that. So there is our curve and there is our triangle point. Okay, now just for fun, if you want to, you don't have to, but just for fun, you could color your tips. Kind of squish it together and really just color, 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 color. You can even bring it down the edges, right? Okay. Could even do this side. And just get as much ink on there as you can. And it's kind of tricky because it wants to wiggle and move on you. And you'll probably wind up coloring your hands, but it's washable. Don't worry about it. If you have time to be able to walk away from this for a little bit, you could just with a super fine mist, hold a squirt bottle back, kind of give it a little squirt, and what's going to happen is because the tissue paper is absorbent and the marker is washable, it's going to like spread that ink that we just put on the tips, which is kind of cool. I'm going to add a little bit of purple, although the purple's so dark, it's taken over the pink. That's okay though. Okay, so now, here we go. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky opening these up because they're so tiny, but open that up, open that up, just like that, and we have got to, oh my goodness, these are tiny. If you have little hands at home to help you, that might be a good idea. Oh, I didn't get all this cut all the way. Oops. There, maybe we are now. Okay, then what I'm going to do is as carefully as I can, I am going to pull my tissue up and kind of curve it, just like that. Okay, focus on the tissue. Come on. There it is. Okay. So pull it up. There we go. And curve. Pull it up and curve. And you'll do that with all of these petals. And as you pull up and curve, just be really careful that you are not yanking. You're not forcing. That you're being super gentle because it's just tissue paper. If you're yanking it, you will tear it. Luckily, there's enough layers that nobody will even know the difference if you accidentally tear it. Oop! Just like that. Don't do that. That's okay though. Nobody's gonna know. Well, I guess everybody will know because it's on video, but that's okay. All right. So there, my friends, is that side. See, it's all pokey, pokey. Okay, curved up and towards the middle. And now we'll do the same thing with the other side. Now, you don't want to cut your two ends different. You want to make your ends the same. Okay, so that means, if you do curve on one side, I would highly recommend doing curves on the other. Gracious, it's hard to get in there and separate these. If you give your fingers a little lick, that'll help. And as long as your hands are clean, that's okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Come on. This side's giving me a little bit harder of a time than the other side, huh? Normally it's the same difference. Maybe my fingers just aren't working as good. Okay, keep pulling very gently. So I hold on to one side that has all the petals still smushed together, and then I pull up just one, whoop, gracious, one layer at a time. Grab another one. Now, if you have colored tissue paper, go for it. You can even use multiple colors of tissue paper. That's really fun. I have made these kind of flowers like so many times for so many different occasions. So, multiple color tissue paper, or with the white, you know, coloring on it's really fun too. Okay, so there is, come on, our curved side right here, and it kind of looks like a carnation a little bit. Now this could be a perfect little brooch to wear, a perfect little part of a bracelet, or it could go right on top of your jar. This one's small enough that I could actually do another one to go with it, right? Or you could try again and just make a bigger one. Totally up to you. Okay. I'm actually going to take, I've got a scrap piece of green paper right here. So I am going to take this green paper, just like this. Now you don't have to do this, but you can. That'll fit right on top. And then I am going to fold my paper over. I am going to do a little curve and another little curve. And so now it looks like I made some leaves. Kind of fold those over. Trim this up just a little better. Now you could also use the actual lid and trace it on the paper, and then you have a perfect round circle, right? And granted, you may have to trim it and make it a little bit smaller, but it should work. Okay, then we can take some glue. Really get you some good glue on there. I'm just using a good old Elmer's glue stick. So stick that on, just like that, okay? And then if you have hot glue works great too. I love hot glue. I've even put together curtains with hot glue. My aunts would be so embarrassed if they knew that. They're great seamstresses, but anyway, I don't need this extra ribbon on here, so I can trim this off. There we go. And put some glue on the bottom of our flower. And of course, stick down. I'm trying to get it kind of in the middle. And as you smush, you may have to refluff your flower. Again, hot glue would be great for this project just because it dries so fast, right? And it's so like permanent. Okay, so now we have this cute little top, and again, you could have made it bigger, or you could put multiple flowers on. So now I'm going to clear my workspace a little bit here. This tends to happen with art, doesn't it? It just sort of goes everywhere. So put that right there. Okay. Now I need this white paper for another part here in just a minute. So I am going to eyeball again about how big I want my label to be, and I think I want it to be about that tall. Now I could use a ruler to measure, or you can just fold it over, and as long as this edge is even with this edge, we know that our fold is straight. Here. And then I will cut on the fold. And this label could be long enough to go all the way around. If you want it to go all the way around, I would suggest cutting lengthwise on your paper. But if you're okay with it just going partially around, like the one that already comes on it does, then that's okay too. So this will go here, wrap around. Oh, it almost fits all the way around shortwise, doesn't it? But I don't want it to go that far. So I'm going to give it a little trim. Okay. And again, use what glue you have. Hot glue is great. Since this already has a paper wrapper on it, the glue stick should stick pretty good. Elmer's glue works. 𝗀𝗲𝗍, Elmer's 𝗀𝗲𝗍 works amazing. That sticks all kinds of stuff together. I really like 𝗀𝗲𝗍. Okay. And then, oh, duh. Who is this for? Before you get your glue, you need to decorate your label, because once I stick it on there, it becomes very hard to decorate. So let me find the middle, give it just a little crease. Who is this for? And that, you need to think about that, right? Maybe I put a heart on it. And then we can put who it's to, who it's from. If you want to label like what it is. Okay, so this could be for Mom. If you want it to be. If you want it to be. There we go. Put a little, I don't know if the red's even gonna, no, red doesn't even look any different, but I think purple will. Sometimes that's a tricky thing about construction paper is, see, purple looks black, actually. I'm gonna outline around the letters that I just made. There we go. And so it almost looks like they are block letters, doesn't it? So you draw regular and then you outline around and it looks like we made block letters. So cool. Okay, and of course you can label like what's in here or who it's from, what it's for. It's totally up to you. It's your label, you put on it what you want, right? Maybe I'm going to do a little dash, dot, give it some more decoration. You can get as crafty and clever with this as you see fit. Okay, cute. Now, hopefully my glue didn't dry on me. I put it on pretty thick. So stick that there and wrap it around. OMG, it's a mom jar. or it could say dad, or it could say grandma, whatever you want it to say, right? So, and of course we still see the old label on the inside, but that's okay. And remember, this can be filled with whatever you want. Now, what I was thinking it could be filled with is notes. So this is just copy paper. You could type them up or handwrite them. That's even better, right? And so it could have sweet messages. It could have little pictures. It could have coupons like free back rub, do the dishes, clean the bathroom, vacuum, all those things that adults in your life would really, really appreciate, right? And so I think the easiest way to get a straight line to cut is just to fold paper. I'm not opposed to rulers by any means, but not everybody has a ruler at home, or not everybody can keep a ruler from wiggling, but we can all fold papers, right? Some of your messages might need bigger papers. And some of them might need smaller papers, so it's just a good gauge to at least do kind of an in-betweeny size, right? And then now I could fold this in half, just like that. I could fold it in thirds, so a third here, a third here. Trim, like that. I mean, you could even make little bitty messages, right? So one year my daughter did something similar like this for me, and she looked up quotes, like inspirational quotes, and she just put a whole bunch of them in the jar and told me, you know, Mama, when you're having a rough day or you need a little pick-me-up, then just open this jar, and I've put a whole bunch of messages in here for you. And I'll tell you what, it made me cry. It made me cry, but it made me feel good. And it, you know, when you have those days, you just open it up, and it's so nice to have. So that's what I'm saying. We can put all kinds of things, pictures, quotes, little coupons, and maybe happy memories, like fun things that you remember doing with this person that you're giving it to. And then just fold them up and open the jar and fill that jar up until it won't take any more, right? So that's one option that could go in your jar. Don't put blank messages in here like I am, but that's one thing that could go in here, is just multiple sheets of paper that all have different thoughts, ideas, pictures, whatever it may be on them. So there you go. I really enjoy doing this recycled type project with you, and I hope that it will make somebody feel super special. This is a great way to spread kindness and show people that you care about, that you love them, and exactly why you love them and what you care about. So thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through to the end, and I cannot wait to see your little kindness jars. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to do some more art with you.